Last week, it all became official when the International Hot Rod Association formally moved back to Bristol, Tennessee, and they announced their 1989 schedule. They're already racing out west, as last weekend over 400 entries started this year's running of the Parker 400. NASCAR's so-called off-season has finally ended. In the show, we'll bring you up to speed with all the Winston Cup testing, and we'll visit with a well-known engine builder who recently has taken on the job of team owner as Robert Yates joins us in our studio today. Hello, everybody. I'm Pat Patterson. We'll have all the racing news from around the country next on Pit Road.
On Pit Road, America's total motorsports program is brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? And by Goodyear Eagle Tires. Goodyear, because there really is a difference. And by Purolator Filters. Purolator, the first name in filters. And by Rain-X, a new Rain-X anti-fog. Glass treatment for improved visibility.
Hey, come on, can't you do that later?
Hey, I've always dreamt of owning a car like this, and I'm keeping it forever.
To some, it's an antique. To others, it's a dear old friend. If you truly love your car and want to make the romance last forever, protect it with Purolator filters.
When was the last time you had the kind of car that brings the road alive? Have you driven a Ford? Then you don't know what you're missing. Have you driven a Ford? Driven a Ford? Have you driven a Ford lately?
All the thrills of college basketball are here on your New England Sports Network. Stay with NESN this season for live and exclusive coverage featuring New England college basketball with perennial powerhouse Northeastern and Mike Jarvis's BU Terriers. The Big East with the BC Eagles led by Dana Barros and outstanding prospect Brian Edwards. Plus Providence, UConn, Syracuse, and Georgetown. SEC excitement with top-ranked Florida and Tennessee. The Pac-10 featuring Oregon State and UCLA. Plus the Southwest Conference, the Big Eight, the CAA, and more. It's a great season of college basketball with over 100 games, and it's here on NESN, your New England sports network where we deliver.
Hello, everybody. To an outsider, the time between the end of one racing year and the beginning of the next looks like a long vacation. Ask any racer about the off-season, and they'll laugh, then tell you it's really the busiest time of year. For the Monday following the Winston Cup Awards ceremony in New York until just last weekend in Daytona International Speedway has been filled with the sound of stock car testing for '89. With a look at the winter speeds, here's Hill Overton.
After 2 months of intensive testing for NASCAR, Winston Cup, and Busch Grand National cars at Daytona International Speedway, things have come to a screeching halt. Several significant facts have come to light. Speeds will definitely be up over 88, with 40 drivers testing at over 190 miles per hour this winter, as opposed to just 11 a year ago. And 18 drivers posted a test lap at better than Ken Schrader's pole speed of 193.823. What is most evident is that speeds will be up when practice begins on February 10th for events leading up to the February 19th Daytona 500. Look for competition to be closer than ever for this year's event. Of the 51 Winston Cup cars that took advantage of December and January testing, Levi Garrett Chevrolet driver Jeff Bodine was fastest at 196.035 miles per hour. The second fastest overall speed belongs to Fast Phil Parsons in the Copenhagen Oldsmobile, showing that his super speedway successes in '88 were no flukes. His lap, 195.780, helping the Olds contingent gain the fastest average speed for all makes with their top 5 cars. Last year's Daytona pole sitter Ken Schrader was third quickest at 195.737 in his Folgers Chevy. Skoal's Harry Gant posted a handsome fourth in his Olds with 195.610, and another Olds, the Sunoco car of Sterling Marlin, ran a 195.185. With the most intensive winter of testing at Daytona now history, all eyes are focused on the speed capital of the world for the month of February. Reporting for On Pit Road, I'm Hill Overton.
And we're only a couple weeks away from the Daytona 500. Our Purelator Filters featured driver of the week won the ultimate event in NASCAR's premier division back in 1985. After posting fast time during the winter test sessions, Jeff Bodine feels confident about his chances for the season opener, but Jeff's carrying a new attitude along with a new look into the series kickoff.
Yeah, new attitude, I guess. We don't know how this is going to work. We don't know how long it's going to last. But if we come here to Daytona and run real fast, it might last all year.
Well, you know, we also, looking at you here today while the Fords are testing, kind of like a spy in camp.
No. See, I'm not a driver today. I don't have a uniform on, no helmet. I'm just a brother. Brett's over here, out here doing some testing. I just came down as an interested brother to watch out for him, and my mother and father are here, so no, I'm not a spider.
So it's just a family thing today.
That's what I tell everybody. I try to sneak in, but they recognize me.
Looking ahead, what do you see for Jeff Bodine in the racing team?
Oh, you know, this is going to be a great year for me, for our whole team. Waddell Wilson and I, this will be our second year together, and we really think last year was a good year for us. We won a race, won 3 poles, and had a lot of what I call near misses. And so we're thinking this year is going to be a lot better. I really feel that way inside, and Waddell feels the same way. We've added some new people to our team, some really good people. And we think the team is stronger than ever. Waddell's and my attitudes are, we think, in the right perspective. And you know, after watching Bill Elliott win that championship and Rusty Wallace run so well last year, it's my turn. I want to do that. I want to win that championship, and that's going to be our goal this year, to go out and do what it takes to win a Winston Cup championship. Bill figured it out. He did it last year. The only problem is there's probably 15 or probably more teams and drivers that feel the same way, that really have the capabilities of doing that. So it isn't going to be easy. We know that, but we're going for it.
I like that beard. It's got to get a little itchy, though. Joining us today is another man who's got to feel pretty pumped up about going to Daytona as one of the premier engine builders on the Winston Cup circuit for years, and now is a team owner of Davey Allison's Haviland's.
That's just enough for me.
You got your work cut out for you. Daytona is up in just 2 weeks, and of course Davey Allison, maybe before the restrictor plate, was a real favorite to be a pole sitter down there. You've seen some of the speeds and times, and I guess I'll ask you the same thing I did off camera. Is that a PR deal, or do we really look for a pole speed around 197 miles an hour?
Well, I think we know what, you know, kind of car and as far as drag and what kind of power it takes to achieve those speeds, and it may be in there. It's and you know, Waddell's one of the best at getting everything out of them. So I'd say it may be for real. We're worried about it, and of course when we get down there and start the race, maybe we'll still be in good shape. We hope we are. Okay,
were you happy with the testing that you and Davey did? Did you basically find out what you needed to find out, or did you run out of time?
Well, we really didn't have enough time. We went down in December and only got like a day and a half because of the moisture would be on the racetrack to even in the afternoon. And we had 2 unknowns, really, the radial tire and a new body style. So the car wasn't, you know, really ready to race. First, we really didn't try to achieve the fastest speed, but we wanted a car that was drivable and something you could race. And that's always our #1 emphasis, is try to be prepared to race well. Mm-hmm. And, you know, we had, you know, kinks in it, and the car really wasn't ready to race. We left there real disappointed, but probably good for us, because we worked awful hard knowing that we're way behind, we're slow, we're not handling good, and maybe it's an aero or in the tires. So we worked extremely hard, and I think it's going to pay off. We went back the second time. We missed a couple of days at Talladega due to rain and didn't get to, you know, any time there, but we went back, and Dave says now he can start the race tomorrow with the car that we have. It feels good, and we're not as fast as the Chevrolets seem to be, But I think we're ready to race.
Tell me about the tires. Are we totally in the dark once more as we were last year, going down with 2 different brands of tires, and now we got radial tires?
Well, it's something new. It's not new to Goodyear. It's not new to racing, but it's new to, the chassis guys and the drivers. And it's definitely a different feel. It's a secure feel that all of a sudden turns you up a lane or two. And it's, maybe we haven't figured out exactly how to handle or deal with it, but I think it's something that if you it's just like they give us a restrictor plate, a 1-inch. A couple years ago, we said nobody can run with that. It takes 250, 300 horsepower out of the engine. You can't run that fast, but we're back up to close to 200 mile-an-hour speeds, and so I guess we'll deal with it.
We'll wish you a lot of luck. At least one thing you don't have to worry about this year: there's no team owner to yell at you if you don't do well because you're the team owner.
I'll be screaming at myself.
Good luck to you. Don't go away. We've still got plenty of action coming up next.
Hi, I'm Mario Andretti. I became the international spokesman for Rain-X because I really believe in the importance of Rain-X for improved visibility, safety, and overall driving comfort. Everyone should use Rain-X. It's a great product.
From the rugged Apache and Dually series to the Diplomat, Ambassador, and Presidential, Southern Coach of Greensboro offers a full line of quality conversions. For the name of your Southern Coach dealer, call 1-800-877-6348. Southern Coach, whatever it takes.
Why does Indy 500 winner Rick Mears race on Goodyear Eagles exclusively? Because of the Goodyear Eagle contact patch and how it responds to the track. And why does Oldsmobile choose Goodyear Eagle street radials for the Indianapolis 500 pace car? A major reason is the Goodyear Eagle contact patch, where the car ultimately responds to the road. Goodyear Eagles, because there really is a difference. Experience the classic years of stock car racing with some of racing's greatest legends. Ride down the track with these drivers at breakneck speeds on such tracks as Daytona, Charlotte, and more. You get 2 classic races on each collector's edition. For Visa and MasterCard orders, call 1-800-548-1769 or send check or money order for $29.95 to Classic Racing, P.O. Box 7096, Hampton, Virginia 23666. Add a bit of racing's legends to your tape library.
Bowling. It's the hottest participation sport in the country today. Now you can discover the challenge and excitement of bowling with this special home video, Let's Bowl with Dick Weber. 2-time Bowling Hall of Famer Dick Weber shows you all the moves and gives you step-by-step instruction on everything from stance, approach, delivery, and follow-through. You'll also get great tips on aiming, improving your form, and much, much more.
Your delivery depends on the position of your hand, the way your wrist and fingers are at the time of release.
So whether you're a beginner or a pro, be sure to get your copy of Let's Bowl with Dick Weber today.
To order, call 1-800-453-9500. That's 1-800-453-9500. Or send $19.95 plus $4 shipping to Bowling, P.O. Box 3168, Ogden, Utah. Call 1-800-453-9500. Order now. Sorry, no CODs.
Last weekend, it was back to the desert as over 400 entries began the grueling 400-mile off-road race outside Parker. Long known as one of the most demanding circuits on man and machine, the tough Arizona terrain again took its toll, as Jerry Garrett explains.
The Parker 400 desert race has slowly become, over the course of 20 years or so, the world's largest desert race. Nearly 500 vehicles raced in this year's edition. 500. That's mind-boggling when one considers that most other kinds of races start 20, 30, maybe 40 cars. Actually, it's vital to start that many cars just so a few are around at the finish. This is a brutal race, and anyone who finishes is lucky to a degree. The buggy of Brian Collins of Las Vegas, Nevada ran out front most of the day, but he gave up a sure overall victory just 12 miles from the finish when he stopped to help a driver whose buggy had flipped. After some confusion over the amount of elapsed time for some of the finishers, veteran Danny Lettner was declared the winner. The course made quick work of a huge field of trucks, but the Ford of Dave Schopp of Hemet, California, took the lead early and never gave it up. In four-wheel drives, Jack Johnson of Las Vegas came home the winner in his Nissan. He had one of the fastest overall times despite starting behind nearly 200 other vehicles. Local favorite Manny Esquera scored the victory in the mini pickup class for Ford, even though Roger Mears' Nissan picked 30 miles off Esquera's lead in just the final 50 miles, all of which were run in the dark. Slightly more than 100 vehicles out of the huge field made it to the checkered flag. Reporting from Parker, Arizona, this is Jerry Garrett.
And while the Parker 400 may have had some unusual-looking vehicles in the race, up in Indianapolis, it was the participating drivers who looked slightly out of place. While you'd expect to find the USAC regulars at the Hoosier Dome Invitational, you've got to wonder if the drivers like Ken Schrader and John Andretti weren't using this event as a tune-up for their sanctioning body's season openers. With the complete story from the Midgets' visit to Indianapolis, here's Janet King.
It was Team Indiana, led by Rich Vogler, facing off against Team USA, featuring Ken Schrader, as the USAC Midgets hit Indianapolis for the 5th annual Hoosier Dome Invitational. The competition is designed to split the 48 drivers into 2 teams based on residence. Each team then holds 3 heat races and a feature to determine their 12-team starters for the 100-lap main event. Vogler, winner of 2 of the previous 4 Hoosier Dome hundreds, got off to a shaky start in Team Indiana's first heat when he ran over another car and spun. Team USA didn't fare much better. In their first heat, Ken Schrader and Jerry Russell got together in turn 1. After the cleanup, it was Nick Fenoro Jr. and Jack Hewitt tangling out of 4. Hewitt went on, but Fenoro hit the wall and rode home on the hook. Dean Billings picked the hard way to get noticed as he climbed over Stan Fox to power his Cosworth into the tires. By the time both teams had worked through the carnage of the prelims, folks were beginning to wonder if there'd be 24 cars left to start the main. As it was, Rich Vogler led Team Indiana around the inside while Bob Ciccone paced Team USA on the outside to the green. When the flag flew, Vogler jumped into the lead while teammate Johnny Parsons battled Ciccone for second. Ken Schrader made the feature by climbing into a teammate's car after he failed to qualify and started dead last, leaving him with a lot of traffic to work around. By lap 13, Vogler was beginning to lap the back markers. When he broke loose going into 1, Johnny Parsons took advantage of the bobble and got on the point. The leaders had a bit of luck on their side when on lap 45, Mel Kenyon, Jack Hewitt, and Michael Lang spun just as Vogler was trying to make a move on Parsons. Everyone avoided the mishap, but Vogler was again behind the leader. Schrader spent the first half of the race working into contention, and by lap 50 was locked into a duel with Rusty Rasmussen for third. On lap 67, Parsons and Vogler were again working lap traffic when Johnny got caught behind a slower car on the outside and Rich regained the lead. Lady Luck again smiled on the leaders as they avoided the racers of Joe Garrity and Mike Lang after that pair spun in turn 3. Still, with 28 laps to go and no one in front of him, it wasn't going to be easy for Vogler. Schrader saw his hard charge from 24th up to 3rd fall just 21 laps short when he hit the tires while trying to avoid the spin of Jack Hewitt and Jerry Russell. When racing resumed, Rich Vogler then breezed on to claim the winner's share of the $25,500 purse.
Johnny had his car working really good. It was a Challenger Cosworth, and they know what they're doing with that car. I just had to buy my time and wait till the right opportunity came up, and it did when we caught some lap traffic toward the end there and took advantage of it.
Johnny Parsons finished second, followed by Rusty Rasmussen in third. John Andretti took fourth, and Mac McClellan fifth. I'm Janet King reporting for On Pit Road.
And while Rich Vogler seems to be king of the Hoosier Dome, Gary Vesair had a lock on this year's Formula One snowmobile racing. Racers recently loaded their sleds and headed north to the border to compete at Victoria Park in Owen Sound, Ontario, Canada.
Pro snowmobile racing star Bruce Vasseur maintained his unprecedented blistering pace on the Formula One circuit this season as he captured a 4th straight victory in the NGK Ski-Doo Sports Series in Owen Sound, Ontario, Sunday. Starting in the 2nd position, Vasseur of Honey Harbor, Ontario, quickly set the pace as the front runner on lap 1 and powered his Ski-Doo twin track for a decisive victory in the 10-lap final before a grandstand packed with partisan race fans. Greg Goodwin of Zion, Illinois, defended his 2nd place position from start to finish, finish against a fierce challenge from Dave Wall of Greenbush, Minnesota, who took third. After the victory, which earned Bruce the title to Canada's Georgian Cup, he talked about what it will take to maintain his record-setting pace through the remaining 6 Sports Series races.
Well, I don't know. Everybody else comes out to win the race, and everybody is running really strong. Maybe we've had a bit of luck with this, I don't know, but, everybody comes out to beat us, and I'm not saying we're the only one they come out to beat, like Davey Wall, Greg Goodwin. Everybody's running fast on the circuit, and it's never determined who is going to be the winner at a certain race until after the final is over.
Next weekend, the Sports Series moves to Eganville, Ontario for the 6th international race in the 11-event contest. Meanwhile, in Eagle River, Wisconsin, the 10 fastest single-track muscle sleds in the world went gunning for the nearly $7,000 in first-place money and prizes. Half the field didn't finish the battle. 2 went down in turn 3 of lap 1. Another took to the hay bales a half lap later, and a collision took out the rider, bringing out the red flag. Number 19, Tim Bender of Colden, New York, who crashed into the hay bales, courageously returned for the restart and was soon challenging early leader Mike Houle, who spun out, giving Bender a slim lead over fellow New Yorker Wayne Nicholden, who challenged repeatedly, but to no avail, as Bender took the victory in the rapidly growing Formula 3 Chevy ProStar Series. Reporting for On Pit Road, I'm Lynn White.
Rain-X and new Rain-X Anti-Fog. Glass treatment for improved visibility presents a moment in racing history.
Banjo Matthews was called Sparkplug by crew chief Smokey Unick in the early 1960s.
There goes Banjo Matthews.
He was an outstanding sportsman driver and later a successful car owner on the Grand National Circuit with drivers such as A.J. Foyt, Donnie Allison, and Cale Yarborough. Today, he's the largest supplier of race cars in late model racing.
Thousands have discovered the luxury, quality, and durability of the best value in conversions, Southern Coach. For the name of your Southern Coach dealer, call 1-800-877-6348. Southern Coach, traditions and excellence since 1979.
Hi, I'm Mario Andretti. Make driving on our streets and highways safer during rain, sleet, and snow with Rain-X.
To some, it's routine maintenance. To others, it's an act of love. If you truly appreciate fine machinery, you protect it with Purolator filters.
Cam Neely, combining strength with finesse. In the 1987-88 season, the All-Star totaled more than 40 goals and led the Bruins in power play goal scoring. Cam Neely is hockey's prototype right-winger. Ray Bourque, winner of 2 consecutive Norris trophies, an NHL All-Star in each of his 9 seasons. He's one of only 7 defensemen with more than 200 career goals. Ray Bourque is hockey's best defenseman. Cam Neely and Ray Bourque together on this personally autographed limited edition print.
Hey, nice wrist shot.
To order your 2-foot by 3-foot personally autographed poster, send a check or money order for $19.95, payable to the New England Sports Network, Neely Bourque Poster, Post Office Box 637, Kenmore Station, Boston, Mass. 02215. Massachusetts residents must include 5% sales tax. Canadian orders, please include $3 to cover shipping and handling.
Well, it finally became official last Friday. The International Hot Rod Association was officially sold to Jim Ruth of Moorhead, Kentucky, and Ted Jones of Bristol, Tennessee. Ruth, president and owner of Bristol International Dragway and owner of the Kenmore Stone Company, will serve as president. Jones will act as chief operating officer in the capacity of executive president, a position he held with IHRA for the past 10 years. Immediate plans include returning the organization to Bristol, Tennessee, where it will occupy the same facilities it occupied before the sanctioning body was sold to Billy Meyer in 1987. The first major change incorporated by Ruth is the resumption of the modified eliminator class, stock eliminator class, and the Mountain Motor Pro Stocks are coming back. The IHRA also announced their 1989 national event schedule, which includes visits to Darlington, South Carolina, Bristol, Tennessee, Milan, Michigan, and Marion, Ohio. The second half of the season they'll compete at Norwalk, Ohio, Rockingham, North Carolina, Bristol, Tennessee, and will conclude at the Motorplex in Dallas, Texas. The IHRA has always been very popular with fans, particularly in the Southeast. Last year, the IHRA event, we ran across one of the most unusual cars that we've seen in a while. Take a look. Well, Stephen King wrote the movie and the book called Christine. Well, it took Richard Earl from Florida to actually build the car, and we got an opportunity to talk with Richard. First of all, did you see the movie before you did this car, or was this just something that developed, from...
We started the car, and everybody we talked to find parts said we had to call it Christine. So I went and rented the movie. After seeing the movie, we decided, yeah, it needed to be Christine.
How close is she to Christine?
Well, the speaker grill and the two taillights are original.
I know you got to get a lot of fans that really comment about it.
Oh, yeah, we've got real lucky. Fan interest in it is great.
As far as the performance of the car, tell me about the motor itself and how the car is prepared for racing.
The engine itself was built by Dave Koffel in Walled Lake, Michigan. It's a 557-inch B1 wedge. It's set up with two-stage nitrous system from ICE. We've only put 2 runs on the car so far without nitrous. The best was 808 at 173. With the nitrous, we expect 730s.
Well, in the book itself and the movie, Christine sort of had a mind of her own. Does this Christine have a mind of her own? Do you keep her locked up at night?
We keep her locked up at night, but so far she's been good.
Okay, fans in Florida, don't worry. She's locked up just for drag racing. Great car. Many thanks to Robert Yates for being our guest this week in the studio. Let me take this time to remind you of a very special event coming up in Daytona Beach, February 13th through the 18th. Live from Cappy's, it'll be on Pit Road. That's on Volusia Boulevard in Daytona Beach, Florida, February 13th through the 18th, 7:30 in the morning to 8:30 in the morning, 9 o'clock at night till 10 o'clock at night. Come out and meet your favorite drivers and be a part of our great studio audience. In the past, we've shown you some great motorcycle action on ice and indoors. As we go today, we thought we'd bring you in some of the action as the amateur division of the American Motorcycle Association raced outside near Albright Shores, Michigan. For On Pit Road, I'm Pat Patterson. Have a good week, everybody.
On Pit Road, America's total motorsports program has been brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? And by Goodyear Eagle Tires. Goodyear, because there really is a difference. And by Purolator Filters. Purolator, the first name in filters. And by Rain-X, a new Rain-X Anti-Fog. Glass treatments for improved visibility.